Hi everyone, this is Vi from Sparkling Faces, and today I just wanted to make a video on two products that I was super curious about and I didn't see that much information online. And I'm sure with it being summer, everybody's wondering about the Ben Nye Magic Cakes and Starblends. I actually have both, and I have almost every color of both. I started out with Starblends, and I was using a smoothie blender, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like how it covered. I didn't like the intensity of the colors. I didn't like how messy it was. I always got powder everywhere, and that's when I heard about the Ben Nye Magic Cakes, that you can use them wet. Now, I did also hear that you can use the Starblends wet. I tried using some of their colors wet, and well, I tried using the white and the pink wet, and I didn't like the consistency of it. And I only used like did a little corner to test it to see if I would like it. So if I didn't like it, it wasn't that big of a deal. But I didn't like it. But here's just, I guess, a little review or more information on the two brands so that you can see. Now, one of the things that I did notice is on both brands, the black, if you use it dry, it does not cover that well. However, they both work really, really well wet. So I'm just going to do some test swatches for you. So first I'm going to do on a dry sponge. This is Starblends Purple, and I know a lot of people say they didn't like this color. I haven't tried it, I just got this, so we will see. And this color's not as bad as I thought. I mean, it's not intense as using your paints wet, but it's just not as bad as I thought. If you're wanting purple with the powders, this works all right. Okay. Now the Magic Cakes I have here, I'm just gonna swatch it, and we're gonna do the other eye. And this is dry. Okay, as you can see, this does not cover as well, and it's not as purple as the Starblends. This is using it dry. Now, one of the colors that I just did not like in the Magic Cakes, well, first, on all the Magic Cakes, I bought the Magic Cakes to use them wet, and they all worked really, really well wet. However, there were a few that I just didn't like the consistency of using it wet. The worst one out of all the Ben Nyes that just did not want to get wet was the Gecko Green. It's a really pretty color, but it just didn't want to get wet. Oops. Okay, I'm just gonna swatch that for you. This is using it dry. Okay, so that didn't like to, it doesn't like to be used dry either. Okay, so I'm going to take my Starblends green. I'm not doing any design in particular. I'm just testing it to show you. Okay, so that was Starblends green. Okay, let me just try a little bit more of this gecko green. Yeah, it just doesn't want to do it. Now, this brings me to a good point, is that when I bought both sets of paints, I bought the Starblends to be used dry and the Ben Nye to be used wet, and you can see why. I think Starblends is made to be used dry, and that's why the colors are a lot more vibrant when used dry, and the Ben Nye is meant to be used wet, and so that's why it's not working very well. And I mean, I got a lot of powder on the sponge. It just didn't work. So I wanted to show you the difference between the blacks. Okay, so this is using Ben Nye black. Oh, it does not even want to get on here. I mean, there's a lot of powder on top, but oh, and for those of you who find that these are very, very messy, one of the things I did find out is if you rub your sponge or blender or whatever you decide you want to use on top and then dab, it picks up some of that extra powder, so it's not as messy. I still think it's really messy, but it's not as messy. Okay, so now this is Starblends. There's no effort in getting this one to powder up. I'm not sure it's not black like what you're looking for when you're using your paints wet, but that's the color that you get. So now I'm just going to show you using it wet. And